Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying around this hour. We're going to finish up with a little bit of, just the. I don't even know what to say. Well, I really don't.
Can I share the secret that you just said in the commercial break? Can I share that secret with my audience?
The name that I.
Yeah. Oh. Not the name, but the fact that you have a hobo. Nickname.
Yeah, I can't. I know. I don't really. I gave it to myself like a few years ago, and I cannot. It's like Scruffy McDude. I can't remember what it is, but
Scruffy McDude.
No, that's not what it is. But I can't. Right. I can't remember. But no, I created a minstrel hobo personality persona that goes around. A minstrel hobo troubadour hobo that goes around solving mysteries. And I can't remember his name, but.
How drunk were you when you?
Oh man, so drunk, so drunk. We're talking like, when you start measuring your drinks in inches, that's a problem. Well, I'm this much. I've got this much left to go.
Yes,
that's a problem.
My grandpa would always say, "Well, I pretend this is the bartender." He'd go, "I want 2 fingers of whiskey."
Yep. Yeah. It's don't put any of that ice in there either. You're ripping us off. You're ripping us off now.
No, that's right. So let's get back to what we're going to talk about.
I don't even know how to even bring it up because the president of the United States, Barack Obama, Nobel Peace Prize laureate.
Yes.
Winner of campaigns on I'm going to end the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Is re-upping in Afghanistan into the next president's administration, whoever that happens to be, and just did what he said he wouldn't do, put boots on the ground in Syria. Now, you know that I'm never going to like any of this.
No.
War and troop deployment, all that kind of stuff is nonpartisan for me. I object to it no matter who it is. But what just really troubles me is, and please somebody throw some cold water on, or maybe send the show some pictures of kittens and puppies like hanging out and being friends, because this is going to get really depressing. We have all this conflict, all this war, especially this intense, really bad stuff for the last dozen years or so, and we keep trying to disengage, and then it flares up. We saw. The Bush administration pre-surge, they tried to pull back a little bit, then they couldn't, then they surged in and got things under control. Obama did. Somebody pulled out, added more troops back into Afghanistan, didn't pull everybody out of Iraq, kind of started going back in, doing raids into Syria just a little bit. Now a few special forces troops that have been engaged with the enemy in Syria. It's going to be a disaster with the Russian planes in the area. We know that's going to be a problem eventually with the Russian Air Force going into Syria too, because they're not talking to each other hardly at all. We keep doing the same things. We keep throwing troops at this problem. We keep throwing military solutions at this problem, and getting the same exact garbage result that we've had in Afghanistan, we had in Iraq, and we're doing the same exact thing in Syria. What are we doing, man? Didn't Albert Einstein, the old saw, if you do the definition of insanity is to do the same things over and over, hoping to get a different result. Yeah. For crying out loud, just cheer me up. Why is this good?
Well, the problem is Obama inherited 2 wars, and now he's leaving with 3. That's what we have. And
I hate that. That is not cheering me up.
The bottom, here's what the problem is. If you, to go to your point of, geez, we have this idea that you can take an outsider to come in and fix the process. This is a classic example. President Obama made several promises that because of the office of president, he's not able to keep. It isn't that he's not trying to keep those promises. It's that because of the office of president, there's only so much you can do. Mm-hmm. And the problem is, if his approach to the Middle East has, what it's effectively done is forced the Turks to go deal with the Russians. It has forced the Israelis to go deal with the Russians. It's forced the Saudi Arabians to go deal with the Russians. It's forced Egypt to go deal with the Russians. That's what it's done. So, in a couple of bad policy moves, which I'm sure was because his goal was to get us out of the Middle East. I mean, he said what?
Get us out of the Middle East, pivot to Asia, which everybody agrees, if we could do it, is the best thing to do.
And you
don't disagree with that.
I do.
We need to deal with China before China deals with us.
And I agree with that. I agree. But the problem is we can't abandon the Middle East and pivot to China. We have to be able to figure out a way to do both of them, because we saw what happened when we try to retract ourselves. The other thing is, it's very interesting in Russian media, right? Because I got a solid dose of that when I was over there. They're showing pictures of supposed bombing runs by the United States where we don't drop any bombs, or we'll drop one. There's also a lot of reports, and picked up not just by Russian journalism, but by the Chinese, by the Indians, the continent of India, and the Pakistanis, as well as several regional papers in Syria that show these are where we've claimed we've bombed, and there's no craters. And American bombs, those things are huge. They're going to leave a mark.
All I know,
and there isn't any marks.
All I know is I hate this whole thing. I don't know why. Like, we just finally got, after what? God, 4 years, right? The Syria thing has been going on for longer than we've had a show. We've been talking about Syria for as long as we've been back. They just now, 4 years in, got Iran, Russia, the U.S., Syria at the table. And some of the other, and Saudi Arabia, the other stakeholders.
But having Russia at the table is about like having, cousin Eddie from Family Vacation at the table.
Well, you can't get Assad there without Russia at this point.
Well, yeah. Well, part of the problem, and this
and
goes
you have
back
to have Assad there.
And part of the problem, and this has been pointed out by the BBC when I was over there. I listened to this. Some of their analysis is, had President Obama taken a different personality approach to it. I don't know how else to say besides that. Because his thing is to look at something, let it stew for a little bit, and then see what to do later. You call it thoughtful. I call it, idiocy. But the bottom line is a lot of the people are thinking, had we intervened sooner in Syria, had we done something more to support whatever. But the bottom line is, and here's the thing, the Russians destroyed all the weapons that ISIS had, and we dropped another 50 tons of material in there to these moderates. And the bottom line is Russia has no interest in doing anything but propping up Assad, with the added bonus of we keep arming our enemies. And it's not just, and this just isn't Obama, this is us. I mean, John McCain is the one that's out there that has set this up. And it's just stupid. And what you have to do is step back and go, who are our allies? Who are we going to support?
Yeah, but we don't.
And everybody else can go down the toilet.
Except we don't know that. That's the whole thing. That's why it just.
Well, we know Israel is supposed to be our friend. That's about the only thing we do know.
Oh, I was talking about the moderate Syrian army.
Oh, I agree with that too.
We have no idea who those people are.
But the only thing in the Middle East that we do know is that most of the time Israel's our ally. Outside of that, we don't know anything. Just like you said, we don't know who the moderates are. We don't know who the conservatives are. We don't know who the extremists are. We don't know who the we don't know. That's all we know is we don't know. And so here's the other thing that's interesting. And I know we're long. It didn't take but 1 week for the Russians to get their own military base in Iraq. The Russians said, well, we can come in and help if you give us a base in Iraq. Done. Bam. Just like that. Guess where? It's one of our old bases that we turned over to the Iraqis. The Iraqis says, there you go. So we just built the Russians their Air Force base in Iraq. The idiocy has to stop. We've dropped $500 million into the middle of this to train 50 fighters.
There are 30,000 ISIS fighters that, you know what we did. My head's about to explode.
We're going to end the show.
We got to end. We're going long, and I also have to go. I got to go check out and see if there's anything to vote for over my polling place because it's election day.
Got to go vote.
Go vote. City council is up. There are a bunch of good candidates, so please go do that. Thank you very much
Thanks
for joining
everybody
us.
for tuning in. Sorry we went long.
Bye.